As Marshal of the University, it is my honor to declare open the proceedings of the 521st Convocation of the University of Chicago and to introduce the university's 13th president, Robert J. Zimmer. Please be seated.
Good afternoon and welcome. As the Marshal has just announced, today's ceremony is the 521st time that the University of Chicago has assembled for a convocation. From the time that classes began here in the fall of 1892, the university has held a convocation ceremony at the end of every quarter, allowing students to be recognized and celebrated for their achievements immediately upon completion of their studies, and to do so through formal exercises, just as we do today. The primary purpose of convocation is, of course, to award degrees. But these occasions serve other important functions as well. At convocation number 1, on January 2nd, 1893, the university's first president, William Rainey Harper, set out goals for these ceremonies, goals which 121 years later we continue to observe. Harper believed that these occasions of high ceremony to be a necessary and nourishing part of the life of the university, and intended them to literally call together or cause to assemble all parts of the university community. In Harper's words, convocations are meant to bind together into a unity the many complex and diverging forms of activity which constitute our university's life and work. Today's ceremony, then, is also about reflecting upon the whole of what we do across the many libraries, laboratories, and classrooms that make up our campus. And in addition, it affords us all a moment to reflect upon the accomplishments of our past and the opportunities of our future, individually, collectively, and institutionally. I confer the degrees awarded this afternoon by authority delegated to me by the university's Board of Trustees, represented today by Trustee Mary Lugorno, and I do so on behalf of the faculty of the University of Chicago that has responsibility for the educational programs recently completed. I welcome you again to the 521st Convocation, a time-honored ritual that recognizes achievements of which we can all be proud.
As Provost of the University of Chicago, it is my privilege to introduce David Archer, who will present today's Convocation Address. David is a professor in the Department of Geophysical Sciences and the college. He has been a member of the University of Chicago faculty since 1993. A climate change expert, Professor Archer teaches courses on global warming, environmental chemistry, and global geochemical cycles. He has worked on a wide range of topics pertaining to the global carbon cycle and its relation to global climate, with a special focus on ocean sedimentary processes and their impact on the evolution of atmospheric carbon dioxide. In 2010, he was elected a Fellow of the American Geophysical Union for his exceptional scientific contributions in his field. Prior to joining the University of Chicago, Archer was a postdoctoral research scientist at the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory at Columbia University. He received his PhD in oceanography from the University of Washington and his bachelor's degree in biochemistry from Indiana University. Archer's work has an impact well beyond the University of Chicago campus. An award-winning science writer, Archer has written a series of books on climate change, including The Long Thaw: How Humans Are Changing the Next 100,000 Years of Earth's Climate. The title won the Walter P. Kistler Book Award from the Foundation for the Future in 2009. In it, Archer argues that the world can still avert dangerous climate change. To do so, though, humans around the world would have to cooperate in an unprecedented way. Most recently, the second edition of Archer's Global Warming, Understanding the Forecast was published. The text is a resource for undergraduates not majoring in the sciences. It was listed as an outstanding academic title by Choice magazine after it was first released in 2006. Archer was among the first on this campus to launch a massively open online course on global warming, where his courses routinely draw thousands of students. He is also a regular contributor to one of the internet's top science blogs, realclimate.org, where working climate scientists respond to developing stories on climate science for the benefit of journalists and the public. The title of his talk today is The Great Carbon Conspiracy. David?
Welcome to the 521st Convocation at the University of Chicago. This is a great day. It's a day for congratulations and for reflection. I can't help but reflect that if you had gone to Northwestern, you might have gotten somebody like Oprah right now, instead of a nerdy oceanographer like me. And also that you don't typically hear much from the sciences at these things. You may come to your own conclusions in the next couple of minutes about why that might be, but I think part of the reason is that a lot of the stories from science are not really congratulatory as bespiriting a day like this. They're sort of humbling. They make us feel puny. The Earth is not the center of anything, really, except maybe the middle of nowhere. It was here for a long time, but without us. And humans are not special among Earth's creatures. We're built of the same materials, the same building blocks as the liverworts and the slime molds, your basic scum of the earth. But I've got a story that's very uplifting, and you never would have believed it if you hadn't seen it for yourself. And it all has to do with the element carbon. So if you were cruising around in space and checking out piles of atoms like this planet, and you somehow hadn't come from someplace like this, you probably would never have imagined all of this stuff going on here. The living carbon. Just think of it. It's machines that are just unfathomably complex, and they are self-correcting, self-reproducing, evolving, thumbing its nose at the somewhat dour second law of thermodynamics. Locally, I mean, thumbing its nose. But it's done more than that. The living carbon has altered the chemistry of the planet, charging it up with energy like a giant battery in the form of oxygen in the atmosphere and carbon made of dead plants and maybe a little bit of dinosaur down in the ground. We are creatures of this battery. If you buy a candy bar over in the Kolb coffee shop or someplace, it'll maybe you can read on the back how many calories it has. What it means is that if you combine the candy bar chemically with oxygen, that's how much energy you get. But if you were to eat that candy bar on the moon and you don't bring any oxygen with you to go along with it, no calories for you. So it's kind of like our local currency. Those of you who have taken FISI 134, global warming, probably know where I'm going with this. By using fossil fuels as an energy source, we've learned to steal a jolt off of this planetary battery. You might wonder if we could discharge the battery, like running down a car battery by running the stereo all day at a picnic. But for the planetary battery, it would be more like shorting out the terminals of the battery with a jumper cable, which you should never do because it'll catch fire and blow up and spew acid every place long before it could actually discharge all of the chemical energy in the battery. The Earth's battery is kind of this way too, in that we're not worried so much about depleting the oxygen in the atmosphere, which would be running the battery dead, so much as building up the waste product carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and changing the climate of the Earth. If this were a story from the deeply unsympathetic world of microbiology, say a culture of slime mold in a petri dish, the outcome would be inescapable, that the culture would reach its limit and then crash. What can save us is, in fact, the third great miracle of the carbon cycle. In addition to harvesting and storing energy, the biosphere of the Earth has begun collecting and storing information, understanding, and awareness. It's as if the eye of the universe is opening. In all the vastness of space and the immensity of time, it's happening right here and right now. Maybe this isn't the center of the universe, but it's certainly a center of the universe. I think of this and I don't feel puny anymore. My fellow carbon atoms, we've hit the jackpot. What were the odds? I know what you're thinking. Eye of the universe, that's very nice, Professor, but this is a graduation speech and we were wondering if you could comment on, well, you know, something about us. Fair enough. I always expect and look forward to challenging questions from you guys. The one insight I can offer arises from an apparently robust characteristic of the carbon cycle, that its growth through time seems to feed on itself, on all different scales, from the evolution of biological complexity to the speed of computer chips. It's not growing linearly through time, but accelerating, following an exponential trajectory. The thing about living on an exponential curve is that you can never quite see what's coming. Everyone expects the next century to be like the last, but it never is. For thousands of years in the human world, nothing ever changed. Now it's changing so quickly, I can perceive in my lifetime not just the changes, but the acceleration in the rate of change. I'm not sure what use this insight is to any of us, except to say we do live in interesting times. In terms of navigating the difficulties that lie ahead, I would like to affirm my opinion that we are not a culture of slime mold in a petri dish anymore. We have awareness. We can choose. We can solve this problem, no problem. If there were simply no more coal on the planet, it would not be an apocalypse, but a business opportunity. It's just hard to make the decision. That's why I was so excited last year to hear that 70% of you voted in favor of the proposition that the university should not profit from the fossil fuel industry. I quite agree. It's one level of moral culpability to be an addict, another thing entirely to own a piece of the drug pusher. Anyway, 70% sounds like a decision to me. Problem solved. It's just a matter of time and details to be worked out. And I guess in classic academic tradition, we're kind of leaving those details as an exercise for you, the students. I'm sorry about that, but it'll be a piece of cake, really, once a decision is made for real. Before I sit down on this congratulatory day, I want to call out a salute to the carbon atoms. You industrious little rascals, you. I never would have believed all the things that you do if I hadn't seen it for myself. And then a special salute to the sentient carbon atoms. You know who you are. I just want to say, watch out for the fossil fuel thing. That's kind of serious, but I know you're good for it, so that's cool. And then finally, on this occasion of the 521st Convocation at the University of Chicago, I'd like to salute the graduating carbon atoms. You saw that coming, right? I just want to say, you guys are amazing. Keep up the good work and have a great day.
As we begin the presentation of degrees, may I call your attention to the award of honors listed in the convocation program, as well as the names of candidates receiving degrees today in absentia. At this time, in the favoring presence of the congregation here assembled, the deans of several faculties and their appointed representatives will present the candidates for academic degrees to the president of the university. The dean of the college will now present candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science in programs in the college.
Mr. President, these students have completed the prescribed program of undergraduate studies, and on behalf of the faculty of the college, I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, and welcome you to the Fellowship of Educated Men and Women.
Joseph Michael Apodaca, Spencer Ryman Bledsoe, Shaowen Cheng, Sarah Maria Duster, Howard Fang, Sarah Bess Fedner, Francis Bonavi Gallego, Joseph Nathaniel Glenn, Sarah Mai Henry, Won Hu, Brandon Scott Kennedy, Joseph Warren Kim, Robin Tae Kim, Ashley Nicole Krolpoff, Sarah Young Lee, Claire Yao Lin, Alyssa Rose Mallory, Rachel Autumn Markley, Crystal Meng, Saad Syed Nasser, Aparna Nutaki, Matthew Francis O'Keefe, Carlos Jinyup Panikis, Megan Catherine Porter, Rick David Pressman, Keja Wren, William Clayton Roberts, Dennis Semisalov, W. Mitchell Stoughton, Alexander Carlquist Strandberg, Ellie Meng Su, Eleanor Dayton Sullivan, Kevin David Wang, Bo Tao Wu, Sung Hyun Yu.
Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting a student marshal in the class of 2014. Appointed for their excellent record in academic studies and their contributions to the University of Chicago, they have served with distinction as a student marshal. Mitch Elliott.
The Dean of the William B. and Catherine V. Graham School of Continuing Liberal and Professional Studies will now present candidates for the degree of Master of Liberal Arts in programs in the Graham School.
Mr. President, these students have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the William B. and Catherine V. Graham School of Continuing Liberal and Professional Studies. I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Master of Liberal Arts.
You have successfully completed a program of advanced study in the liberal arts, and by virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Liberal Arts, and I express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field.
Audra D. Hall. Samin Himati Rasmussen.
The Dean of the Division of the Biological Sciences and the Pritzker School of Medicine will now present candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in programs in the Division of Biological Sciences and the Pritzker School of Medicine.
Mr. President, each of the students I now present has attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and has prepared a dissertation that contributes to knowledge in a particular field of research. On behalf of the faculty of the Division of the Biological Sciences and the Pritzker School of Medicine, I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and welcome you to this ancient and honorable company of scholars.
Yusuke Fukuda. Stephen William Crago. Benjamin Henry Krinsky. Anna Lukniak. Charlene Leanne McCord. Benjamin Jewett MacDonald. Agnieszka Mishura.
The Dean of the Division of the Humanities will now present candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts and Doctor of Philosophy in programs in the Division of the Humanities.
Mr. President, these students have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the Division of the Humanities and the special programs approved by their departments. I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Master of Arts.
You have successfully completed a program of advanced study in the humanities, and by virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts, and I express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field.
Catherine Mary Mardula. Nina Marie Ochoa. Nadia Saba Qazi. Jennifer Winter Snow. Mr. President, each of the students I now present has attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and has prepared a dissertation that contributes to knowledge in a particular field of research. On behalf of the faculty of the Division of the Humanities, I now have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and welcome you to this ancient and honorable company of scholars.
Jeffrey Kwesi Coleman. Catherine Ann Duda. Peter Svarin Eriksson. Judy M. Henley. Joella Magdalena Jacobs. Jonathan Thomas Keene. Trent Leipert. Ezra Tashdele.
The Dean of the Division of the Physical Sciences will now present candidates for the degree of Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy in programs in the Division of the Physical Sciences.
Mr. President, these students have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the Division of the Physical Sciences and the special programs approved by their departments. I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Master of Science.
You have successfully completed a program of advanced study in the physical sciences, and by virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Science. And I express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field.
Rashed Ahmed, Peter Blankenship, Weiwei Chu, Elizabeth Cleveland, Tong Hu, Yichan Jia, Rupert Sarvani Komenini, Junqi Li, Shuangyang Li, Yanan Li, Cheng Liu, Haichen Liu, Bowen Liu, Morinvino Mokhtar, Anna Olsen, Mana Sajan, Anthony William Slingen, Michael Edward Sturrup, Jingfang Sun, Hongyi Wang, Weiyi Wang, David Matthew Welgus, Shiwei Wu, Yichun Wu, Miao Yu, Shuzhou Zhang. Mr. President, each of the students I'll now present has attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and has prepared a dissertation that contributes to knowledge in a particular field of research. On behalf of the faculty of the Division of the Physical Sciences, I now have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and welcome you to this ancient and honorable company of scholars.
Keith Allen Crum, Zachary Paul Gates, Daniel Charles Herbst, Ho Ling Lee, David Daniel McCowan, Yujing Peng, Alan Zablocki, Timofey Zolkin.
The Dean of the Division of the Social Sciences will now present candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts and Doctor of Philosophy in programs in the Division of the Social Sciences.
Mr. President, these students have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the Division of the Social Sciences and the special programs approved by their departments. I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Master of Arts. Alex Bleiberg.
Wait one second. You have successfully completed a program of advanced study in the social sciences, and by virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts. And I express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field.
Alex Fleiberg, Patanarat Faugshun, Rebecca Rose Frozel, Guan Guan, Russell Scott Johnson, Roy Albert Kimmy III, Jan Kozak, Aaron McPhee, William D. O'Connor, Sarat Sathisaran Pillai, Thomas James Snyder, Akash Mohanlal Solanki, Brendan Padraig Sullivan, Arvid Rachel Dirk Vianney, Yu Wang. Mr. President, each of the students I now present has attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and has prepared a dissertation that contributes to knowledge in a particular field of research. On behalf of the faculty of the Division of Social Sciences, I now have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and welcome you to this ancient and honorable company of scholars.
Lauren Rebecca Applebaum, Natalie Belsky, Yasmin Biljel, Timothy Paul Braun, Anthony Dvorakova, Anna Catherine Gengerich, Keith Jefferson Henwood, Monica Lee, Matthias Steich, Jolion Stewart Tissewoor, Manuel Viedma, Michael Paul Wakeford, Joshua Daniel Lee Zachs Walker, Travis James Warner.
The Dean of the University of Chicago Booth School of Business will now present candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration in programs in the Booth School.
Mr. President, these students have completed the program of professional studies prescribed by the faculty of the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Business Administration, and I express the hope that your work will further wise choices in the allocation of economic resources for the benefit of all people.
Deirdre Amala, Yasmin Bano, Catherine Kennedy Beck, Bradley R. Bennett, Neil V. Baya, Vinay Banawat, Brian William Boss, Jeffrey Paul Bracheres, Thomas Joseph Brennan, Nancy Frances Bugaiski, Laura R. Burke, Francesco Carbonari Schneider, Ankush Choen, Jason Allen Clark, Karen Jones Collins, John William Fry, Nilendu Shekhar Ghosh, Tiffany Aaron Greer, Matthew Leo Harmon, William Hutchinson Harned II. Michael Sam Haratunian. Jeffrey Robert Hester. Heather Helen McMillan Hopner. Mary Parkhill Hunt. Katie Ann Jones. Kyle Andrew Jones. Daniel Kehoe. Blake B. Kelleher. Sanjot Avtarsingh Kurano. Anthony Nguyen Koo. Joan Hearn Kim. Valerie Kirshen. Malik Komaraju. June Kuwe. Anup P. Kulkarni. Shantanu Kulkarni. Mantosh Kumar. Michael Nicholas Lavitola. Mark Warren Lewis. Clayton Scott Luget. Daniel James Kirkpatrick Mahoney. Colleen Bennett Mears. Matthew Melton. Marie Louise Mendy. Mikhail Mishlaev. Pradeep Robert Nair. Andrew James Ney. Daniela Ojeda. Peter James Pacelli. Zubin K. Parikh. Sangwoo Park. Naresh Parmar. Viral Rajesh Patel. Ari Paul. Sebastien Perret. Robert Paul Perkos IV. Prakash S. Prabhu. Joshua David Keever. Vikramaditya Ray. Christopher Ray Richling. Sotan Ayudele Rosano. Kevin Ross. Susan Joy Salita. Asha Pandalika Sarod. Shani Schechter. Benjamin Brewster Schmuck. Rashikesh Shah. Erica Ann Sharon. Eric Andrew Sim. Manmeet Singh. Brian Standerfer. Christopher Steele. John Frank Thomas. Michael Dean Thompson. Amit Raj Trihan. David Richard Turner. Nicolette Jang Turner. Charles Christian Wartenberg. Robert Gates Wattle III. Diana Yuliyanti. Yi Zhang. Yingchu Zhang.
The Dean of the Divinity School will now present candidates for the degrees of Master of Divinity, Master of Arts, and Doctor of Philosophy in programs in the Divinity School.
Mr. President, the students I now present are academically qualified to engage in the profession of ministry. On behalf of the faculty of the Divinity School, I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Master of Divinity.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Divinity, and I express the hope that your work will contribute to a learned and effective ministry dedicated to the spiritual welfare of humankind.
Carolina Christine Gloucester. Elizabeth M. Gordon. Mr. President, the students I now present have completed a program of study prescribed by the faculty of the Divinity School for foundational education in the academic study of religion. I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Master of Arts.
You have successfully completed a program of advanced study in divinity, and by virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts, and I express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field.
Michael Clifford Bartlett. Michelle Elizabeth Young. Mr. President, each of the students I now present has attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and has prepared a dissertation which contributes to knowledge in a particular field of research in the academic study of religion. On behalf of the faculty of the Divinity School, I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and welcome you to this ancient and honorable company of scholars.
Lauren Evans Osborne. Robin Jane Whitaker.
The Dean of the Irving B. Harris Graduate School of Public Policy Studies will now present candidates for the degree of Master of Public Policy in programs in the Harris School.
Mr. President, these students have completed the course of professional studies prescribed by the faculty of the Irving B. Harris Graduate School of Public Policy Studies. I now have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Master of Public Policy.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Public Policy, and I express the hope that your work will guide public policy toward the enhancement of the common good.
Bin Bin Lin, Jia-Yun Liu, Xin Liu.
The Associate Dean of the Law School will now present candidates for the degree of Doctor of Law in programs in the Law School.
Mr. President, these students have fulfilled all the requirements prescribed by the law school faculty to qualify them for the profession of law. I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree of Doctor of Law.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Law, and I express the hope that your work will contribute to the protection of liberty and the advancement of justice.
Misu Moon. Stephen Gordon Trubach.
The Associate Dean of Students of the School of Social Service Administration will now present candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts and Doctor of Philosophy in programs in the School of Social Service Administration.
Mr. President, this student has completed the program of study prescribed by the faculty of the School of Social Service Administration. I now have the honor to present her as candidate for the degree of Master of Arts.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts, and I express the hope that your work will promote the welfare of individuals and the achievement of a socially just society.
Daisy Jimena Diaz Strong. Mr. President, each of the students I now present has attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and has prepared a dissertation which contributes to the knowledge in a particular field of research. On behalf of the faculty of the School of Social Service Administration, I have the honor to present them as candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and welcome you to this ancient and honorable company of scholars.
Melissa Lynn Hardesty. Alfred Jean Perez.
Please stand for the singing of the university's alma mater. Please be seated.
This is a special day for all of you upon whom I've just conferred a degree, and it is a special day for the family members and friends who may be here to join you. It marks the completion of your study, or at least one phase of that study, a path that I trust has been challenging. I hope you are enjoying this moment of celebration and perhaps moment of reflection that this convocation affords. You are now all graduates of the University of Chicago. Because of your achievements that we celebrate here today with your family and friends, each of you will always be connected to the University of Chicago, a connection that I hope that you and we will foster for many years. The University of Chicago is an institution driven from its inception by an idea that one could create and continuously renew a university focused on rigorous, intense inquiry and analysis. The university, through its work every day, expresses the view that clarity derives from the clash of ideas, the challenge of assumptions, and the willingness to accept answers only when they meet the test of argument. We seek understanding that is complex, expandable, and fluid, rather than simple and rigid, an understanding that reflects analysis rather than ideology, that accepts complexity over the comfort of simplicity, that seeks to delineate both the power and limitations of argument, and that is always ready to incorporate new data which can emerge and which, in fact, must be sought. We believe that the best education, the most empowering education, and the most powerful learning take place in the environment of constant challenge that is implicit in this culture of rigorous inquiry, and that this culture is responsible for producing ideas of power and importance to humankind. This focus on rigorous inquiry has defined the University of Chicago, its research and its education at all levels since the university's beginning, and it continues to do so today. The university and its culture are renewed every day by the work of its faculty, students, and staff. And while it is natural to focus on your own achievements today and what they mean for your future, you can also take great satisfaction in your contribution to the ongoing renewal of your university, the University of Chicago. I know that as graduates of this university, in the coming years, you will be called upon to act, to speak, and to lead. And like so many University of Chicago graduates who have come before you, you will approach this challenge of leadership empowered by your University of Chicago education. The power of analysis and ideas that you have experienced here and that are now your own will serve you wherever your path takes you and whatever challenges you confront. Each of you who received a degree today has received help and support from parents, family, spouses, partners, children, friends, mentors, or university faculty and staff. And while it is your achievements that we mark today, all of these supporters can rightly take great pride in your accomplishment. And so to all degree recipients, please accept my congratulations for all you have achieved. I wish you all good fortune and happiness in the years ahead. Enjoy your coming adventures wherever they may lead you. Congratulations.
Harmony.
This now concludes the 521st Convocation at the University of Chicago. Crescat scientia vita escolator. Let knowledge grow from more to more, and so be human life enriched.